Guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's continue this cruise, this climb through history as per Wikipedia. I'm reading kind of the intros of each of the centuries. Started with the 8th century. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. The 8th century BC, that is. And now we have reached the 11th century. I'm just going to start a timer so I don't go on for too long. All right, so it's the 11th century. Basically, everything that's happening in the 1000, like the 1000s, we could call it, the 1000s, which is basically kind of like 1,000 years ago. So, in the history of Europe, this period is considered the early part of the High Middle Ages. So I guess we have the Low Middle Ages, maybe. Let's click into that on the reading list. So the High Middle Ages is a period of European history that lasts from AD 1000 to 1300. Okay. There was, after a brief ascendancy, a sudden decline of Byzantine power and a rise of Norman domination over much of Europe, along with the prominent role in Europe of notably influential popes. Okay, so the rise of the papacy, perhaps. Okay, so there's this new term that's popped up for me, Norman, which I know is a name, but like I've heard of the beaches of Normandy. I'm gonna click into this as well. Add it to the reading list, which is getting so long that, anyways, yeah, I have a long reading list. Normans were a population arising in medieval Duchy of Normandy from the intermingling between Norse Viking settlers and locals of West Francia. Interesting. So it's the mix of the Vikings, which we said kind of popped into history around the 8th century, and the people that were living in France, I guess the Franks, and together they create this Duchy of Normandy. Not really sure what a duchy is. I can't really click that because it's gonna. Anyways, I'll look into what a duchy is when I get into that article. And also the popes are having influence, and we all know what I've heard of a pope is. I've heard what a pope is. The pope is the bishop of Rome and the visible head of the worldwide Catholic Church. He is also known as Supreme Pontiff, Roman Pontiff, or Sovereign Pontiff. Interesting. Maybe we'll click into that. Add it to the reading list. Okay, so Christendom experiences a formal schism in the century, which had been developing over previous centuries between the Latin West and Byzantine East, causing a split into two of the largest denominations of the day, Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. Very cool. Right, okay. So in Song Dynasty, in Song Dynasty China and the classical Islamic world, this century marked the high point for both classical Chinese civilization, science, and technology, and classical Islamic science, philosophy, technology, and literature. Rival political factions at the Song Dynasty court created strife amongst the leading statesmen and ministers of the empire. In Korea, the Goryeo kingdom flourished and faced external threats from the Lao dynasty, Manchuria. In this century, the Turkish Seljuk dynasty comes to power. So let's open this on a reading list. So the Seljuk dynasty, or Seljuks, also known as, they have many other names, was a Turkic Sunni Muslim dynasty that gradually became Persianate. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to pause. We're going a little bit of overtime here. Going a bit slow, sorry. So the Seljuk dynasty comes to power in Western Asia over the now fragmented Abbasid realm, while the first of the Crusades were waged towards the close of the century. So the Crusades start here. 11th century. We have started the Crusades. The Fatimid Caliphate in Egypt, the Ghaznavids, and the Chola dynasty in India had reached their zenith in military might and international influence. The Western Chalkuya Empire also rose to power at the end of the century. In Japan, the Fujiwara clan continued to dominate the affairs of state. In the Americas, the Toltec and Mixtec civilizations flourished in Central America, along with the Hawari culture of South America, and the Mississippian culture of North America. The Tiwanaku Empire, centered around Lake Titicaca, collapsed in the first half of the century. Okay, so a lot of new terms here. I've opened up a few rabbit hole tabs. We are chugging forward to the present day. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next installment. Have a good rest of the day or evening or whatever time this is catching you at.